Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and here it is, the FCM36Pak40. Now this is one of the tech tree premiums and it's tier 3 French tank destroyer, and it currently sits in the tech tree at 850 gold. Now what is it? It's essentially the tier 2 FCM, oops, wrong one, the FCM36 hull, but with a dirty great gun shield on top instead of the turret, and with what I'm assuming is a German 75mm Pak40. And it is all about the gun with this thing. So we'll talk about the gun in a moment. So first of all, we'll have a look at it in the actual model viewer. Module viewer, I can't even get my words out properly tonight. Right, so here we are in the module viewer. I mean, pretty much the hull is quite toughly armoured. I mean, the numbers are 110 damage for the gun with 98mm of penetration and 15.92 rounds a minute, 0.37 accuracy, 1.5 second aiming time. Now it only does 24 kilometers an hour, and it struggles to do that with a 91 horsepower engine, which is not very good. Traverse speed on the hull is not too bad at 37 degrees a second. And the gun traverse, it does give you that, but it's basically just how quick the gun moves from side to side, which is 44 degrees, which is about average. It does have an awesome view range at 400 meters, but quite a poor signal range at 310. Now it claims that the armor is 40mm on the front and the rear of the hull, which is quite odd, and 20 on the side, but that's not the whole story, which we'll look at in a moment. So we've got the engine at the back, and just on those angled corner strips there, which I think are the exhausts. The gun extends about halfway back into the gun shield at the top. If you're wanting to damage the gun, either hit it at the front or straight through there. Tracks. Radio, very small on one side of the gun shield, on the left hand side of the tank. Ammunition, quite easy to hit either side of the gun shield near the front, and it's quite a nice big block for you to hit. And as we'll see in a minute, that gun shield is not the same armour as the hull. And then the crew, you've got the driver in the front, and then you've got 3 crew members sat up in that big boxy gun shield. So let's have a quick look at the armour viewer. Right, there you go, there's the overall armour, and as you can see, it pretty much, well, to me it looks the same, but I am colourblind, so there may be more of a difference than I can actually see. But as you can see, 1 to 20mm, so the whole gun shield is between 1 and 20mm. Now it appears to be the same colour of this as the side of the tank, so I can only assume that it is closer to 20mm, which is not really going to be blocking much. And to be honest, I don't think I bounced anything off the gun shield. I have off the hull, but not off the gun shield. And then if we move across, you've got the 31 to 50. Well, it says it's 40mm front and rear, but actually the rear, it's just that one strip right across the back side of the tank there. And of course at the front it seems to be sort of an even 40mm thickness even over the driver's hatch. And you can bounce the odd shot off the hull, but the gun shield is that big that when people are shooting at you, they're generally going to hit the gun shield and penetrate. So that really does dictate, you know, how you play this tank. Oh, something I did forget to look at was the power to weight ratio, which is 6.7 horsepower a ton, which is absolutely atrocious. And the reload time is only 3.7 seconds, which is not bad actually, as we'll look at in a minute. So let's have a look at the actual gun and compare that. Like I say, it appears, well, I'm assuming it's a German 75mm Pak40. 15.92 rounds a minute, 98mm of penetration on the standard rounds, 126 on your premium, 38 on your high explosive, 110 damage for your AP and APCR, and 175 for your high X. A very good aim time of 1.5 seconds, and about an average accuracy of 0.37 to be honest. And I believe, but I could be wrong because some of the depression figures in the actual companion app are wrong, but it says -7 degrees and +17. Now this is all about the gun, like I say. It's got quite a decent stationary camouflage factor, which you could probably emphasize with a camouflage net, but this gun, there's not much that gets the same sort of damage, penetration and rate of fire. It's all very, very varied. I mean, if we look at the other tier 3 French tank destroyer. That gets 110.75 with a 21 rounds a minute, so higher rate of fire, longer aiming time, more inaccurate, higher penetration slightly, well I say slightly, 12, but less damage at 75 instead of 110. Now the closest one, I believe, is the actual German one, the Marder 2, which gets a pack 40. Now that gets 12.5 rounds a minute instead of the FCM36's 15.9, but it gets slightly higher penetration at 108, but the same damage. But again, a second longer on the aiming time, and it's less accurate. So I might have been a little bit harsh on the accuracy there. I think it is slightly above normal. If we check it against sort of the Russian one, you have a choice of the 76 or the 57. So we'll look at the 76 because that's the closest. And again, less rate of fire, less penetration, same damage, a lot longer aiming time, a lot less accurate. American, let's have a quick look. Alright, so that gets a 57mm, so 15 rounds a minute, so slightly less rate of fire. Penetration is higher, but again, damage is a lot less. Aim time, half a second longer, and again, a lot, well, I say a lot, it is also less accurate. And I think that flavour continues with the British one, but I could be wrong, but let's check it out just to make sure. So we've got the Valentine AT, not the howitzer, let's have a look at the 6-pounder, 20 rounds a minute, yeah, a lot higher rate of fire, but again, it's not got the damage, it's not got the aiming time, but it has got the accuracy. So, all in all, it's a very slow tank with a very good gun, and the gun and the view range are basically what make this thing. Now, crew skills, standard tank destroyer crew skills, you want things like camouflage, green thumb, muffled shot, sixth sense, definitely. I'd probably train camouflage on it, then swap it out for sixth sense like I've done there. When camouflage is done again, possibly swap it out for something like green thumb or muffled shot, because the perks, the ones with the lightning strikes, are only active and effective when they're at 100%, whereas the skills are, well, as they level up and progress, they actually get better until they reach 100%. But the way that this thing plays, I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, it does remind me of a sort of tier 3 T28 or T28 prototype, and it is very, very true. You have to make a plan and hope that it goes right, but we'll talk about that actually in the replays. So I think we've about covered everything. Yes, the crew XP, that's what I've forgotten to look at. I'll see if I can put that up on screen when I figure it out before we edit this all together. So enough of me jabbering on, let's get into some games and see how it actually plays. Right, so the first couple of matches I've put on, I've done them at double speed because, well, it's very slow, and it's just to show you that really it's not always sunshine and roses with this thing. The view range, like I've said, is phenomenal. I can't overemphasize that. I think at tier 3, I don't think there's anything that's got above 330 meters view range, which basically means that you are going to see the enemy way before they see you, and especially if you put the right equipment on, say a camouflage net and some binoculars, and you set up, I mean, I don't mean camping at the back near the base, you know, you set up in a good position where you're going to have a good view range, and with 400 meters and the binoculars on top, you are definitely going to see anything before it sees you, and you're just going to be able to pick it apart with that gun. And at tier 3, that means two-shotting, one-shotting even some of the tier 2s that you'll come up against. Now this does not have premium matchmaking, so it will see up to tier 5. I haven't been in many tier 5 matches in it, but it is a difficult machine to be in tier 5. Then you really do need a camouflage net and your binoculars to basically sit back, kind of out spot the enemy, but you really need to try and get your guys to spot for you. But you do have enough punch on your standard ammunition to get through most of the things you'll be shooting at, and you've definitely got enough on your premium ammunition to get through the rest, which isn't too bad. You'll need your premium ammunition for sort of KV1s at a distance, that sort of thing. But yeah, you really do need to come up with a plan in this. I mean, this was an awful match, and basically what happened was I went the wrong way. And here's another match that's very, very mediocre, and people who've been in the British AT tanks to some extent, definitely the T28 and the T28 prototype, and the Doom Turtle, is it the T95? You know, the tier, I think it's the tier 9, is it? American tank destroyer, that one. You kind of have to look at the map, look at the team list, and figure out kind of where people are going to go, or where the people you want to run into are going to go. Because you are very slow. You can't react to the map like you could in a fast tank destroyer, or, well, a lot of the other tanks, to be honest. There's not many that are really as slow as this. So you do need to kind of come up with a plan and hope to some extent that people go that way. But one of the best ways of playing this is staying back and using that view range, and that's it. 'Cause, I mean, you get in close and things are going to penetrate that gun shield, no problem. So that's something you do really have to be careful of. Now, like I say, you're not a fast machine. This is at double speed. So even if on maps like this you follow the sort of first wave, but you stay as far back as you can to limit you getting spotted, but you still have to be careful. And I think the reason I've been having so much difficulty, or finding it a bit more difficult than I probably should have, is because I wasn't quite playing it properly, and it just sort of clicked with me. I think I thought, right, let's just try staying back. I like to get in there a bit and don't like to sort of sit at the back camping, but with this vehicle that's what you're supposed to do. It's a very traditional tank destroyer role in that sense. But as you can see, this is a very sort of mediocre round, but you can still walk away with quite a bit of crew XP, especially for tier 3. I think this one nets in about 1000 XP, something like that, and quite a rubbish round, to be honest. So it is a good crew trainer, I've found. But yeah, I'd definitely say some sort of optics on it, possibly gun lane drive as well, just to emphasise that awesome aiming time. You cannot put a gun rammer on it, I don't think, though, and obviously you can't put vents on it because it's an open top vehicle. So here we are for the first of the proper replays, hopefully showing you one of the best ways to play this, and it's Karelia. I believe it's a tier 3 match, and it's a standard battle. And like I say, you need to just think about your placement and use that view range to your advantage. Like I say, there's nothing, I think, that goes above 330, so you stick binoculars on, you're sat there in a camouflage net, you'll definitely see them before they see you, and use it to your advantage. Because like I say, I think this gun can two-shot most of the things at tier 3. Tier 4, they do start to get a bigger view range, so again, you basically use it in the same way, very traditional tank destroyer role, staying back, providing supporting fire. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit back from the foliage, because don't forget, the bushes and trees have a camouflage factor for when you sat in them, but if you're sat in the bush, then as soon as you fire, it loses its camouflage rating and you become visible. So to stop that happening, be behind the bush. You want the bush to be see-through, and I think it's about 15 meters, and a general rule of thumb is if you sit in the bush and you look through your gun view, and basically you reverse until the bush isn't see-through anymore, until it goes opaque, and then you should be alright to fire, and the bush will keep its camo value when you fire through it. So I mean, close up they're still going to see you, but at range it really does help out. Managed to pick apart that enemy tank there. Now we've got a T28 coming around to the back of the base, put a good hit on him, and he just drops down, so I'm going to just turn around and wait for him to come up over that rise. Now at the minute I've got no equipment on this for this one. I think the last replay I've got, I did actually put a camouflage net and binoculars on, and you'll see how effective it is for shooting at the enemy team from a distance without getting spotted. Can't seem to hit that Stuart though. I've got a Covenanter sneaking around on the left flank. Over on the western side, managed to get a good hit on him. That one, didn't see where that one went. I don't think I let it enough. Got a decent lead on him, but somebody else finished him off. Right, that's Stuart's back, making a rush across the swamp. And again, I don't think I've been spotted, apart from that T28, and I'm not entirely sure if that spotted me. I wasn't paying attention. I do. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But no, I don't think I've been spotted. But again, it's using the foliage. You have to have it you have to have it opaque so that you can't see through it, and then you can fire through it, and it retains its camouflage value. And again, this is kind of how you play this tank. You do sit back, you can't go fast, and then towards the end of the match, when it's like this, you can just sort of move up, let your team spot for you, and yeah, just pick them off as you go, really. It's more important to come up with a plan and get yourself in the right positioning down at tier 3, I find, than it is up at sort of tier 8 with the T28 and the T28 prototype, because the matches down at tier 3 generally don't last as long. They can be a lot more fast and furious, and I've had quite a few matches. Well, as you saw the first replay that I played at double speed, it just got away from me. It was over that quickly, and I just went the wrong way, and that was it. I did basically nothing in that match. I think one penetrating hit. And I have had a few matches like this down at tier 3 where you sort of move to where it might be a decent position. Some maps are less friendly to this tank than others, and you move to what you think might be a decent position, but the team just starts steamrolling over, and before you know it, you're trying to catch up with the fight, and just about everything's dead, and you've not really done anything. And like I say, it's just being down at tier 3, the matches just don't seem to last as long as they do up at the higher tiers. So it seems more important to get the right placement in this vehicle down here. But as you can see, it's a nice little crew trainer for the French. With a 60% crew XP bonus, you really can train them up quite quickly. I don't know if any of those ops gave me extra XP. I don't think they did. But anyway, I came top of the table. A couple of kills. Nice little bit of damage, but you can see there with the accuracy, 21 shots fired but only 8 hit. And I think that's just it with the low tier. You know, it's just something with the low tier tank destroyers. They're not the most accurate, especially at extreme range. Right, so this is the next replay for you, and it's the last one, and it's Mountain Pass, and it's in, well, it's the summer variant, and again it's standard battle, and I think it's a tier 3 matchup again. And at this point, yeah, it is tier 3. I've got binoculars and a camouflage net on it. And there's a good spot just around the corner from this side. And straight across the valley, I think, including the binoculars when they activate, I can actually see across the valley. And I can sit back, spot all the way across. And the other stuff that's across there can't actually see me. And that's basically what you want to try and do in this, or that's the way I've had more success, is, like I say, just sort of sitting towards the back, out of their view range, but keeping them in yours, by using something like binoculars to extend that fantastic view range. I mean, not the Conqueror, the Chieftain, for example, I think has got a 390 metre view range, and that's a tier 10. This has got a 400 metre view range, and it's a tier 3. So that gives you an example of how good this view range is. So if you stick binoculars on it, get a crew trained up with situational awareness and other things that increase your view range, yeah, you could annoy a lot of people by shooting at them from a massive distance, and they wouldn't even have a chance in hell of spotting you. So we are 362 metres away. Now remember, down at tier 3, I don't think there's anything apart from this that goes above 330 metres. So at this sort of range, they're still within my view range, especially with the binoculars up, but I'm well out of theirs. Just got to be careful of that one on the left, just on the western side there. Now I've repositioned because there are a couple of wrecks in the way and I just couldn't get a shot. Well, there's an M3 coming down across the valley, so we'll have to be careful of him. There's another M3 just popped up on the other side, and again you can see it's 340 metres away. And plus, don't forget, the camouflage rating of the tank that you're in comes off the enemy tank's spotting distance. So my camo rating will come off. I mean, even if they've got the full one of 330 metres, well, I say the full one, even if they've got one of the highest ones at tier 3 at 330 metres, with the camouflage rating on this, yeah, they're not going to spot me at 340. Possibly even not with a skilled crew, and it's very doubtful that they'd have a skilled crew on it. But you can just see why some people call this little thing OP. A little bit overpowered. And if it wasn't for the fact that its armour on the gun shield was terrible, and that it was so slow, I'd definitely call overpowered. As it is, yeah, it might be edging towards it. Can't just seem to hit that locust PS though. But again, you've seen the damage that I've been causing, and it's just, like I say, sitting back, using your view range, and using this awesome gun. The aim time, like I say, is absolutely fantastic. It is a good little crew trainer, especially if you use it right. It can be absolutely devastating. You just don't want to get in too close. But I've got to try and go and help this guy out, and I thought I might be able to see the enemy tank there. Now I can. Not quite in time though, unfortunately. But I'm going to spin it round, and I think I'm pretty much out of it now. I'm not going to be getting anywhere quickly. And yeah, there's just one tank destroyer left. I'm not entirely sure where he is. It's a Marder 2. Probably going... Yep, there he is. Just popped up on the map. But yeah, I don't know with equipment. My recommendation possibly is the camouflage net and the binoculars, and then it's up to you for the next one. Possibly, like I say, gun lane drive, just to get that awesome aiming time down even further. Anyway, there you go. It's finally here. I've been promising it for the last few days, but a Tech Tree Premium review, and I think I'll do some more of these because they're always there for you to buy, and you might be looking for a crew trainer or something else, so I think I'll get around to doing a few more Tech Tree Premium reviews. So, to sum up, not a bad crew trainer. It's got pretty poor armour, pretty slow, but it's got an amazing gun and view range, so you use that view range to your advantage. Stay out of the way, spot your enemies before they spot you, and tear them apart with your with your damage and your rate of fire. Anyway, I hope that's been of use to you, and as always, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.